Alright, so this is the second part of the gods and the goddesses and immortals. Okay, as well as the immortals, primordials, titans, etc. This is the DP podcast, the dark podcast, and everything within the darkness comes and shines within the light. I mean, everything within the darkness shines within the light, yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the gods and goddesses, their incarnated vessels have to be, no, not have to be, are of a reflection of nature. So just like trees with the darker tone that they have and the different forms of carbonated tones that they have, it's the same reflection as that of the vessels of the gods and goddesses, as well as how the trees have braided what appears to be the same, similar to braided ether, which is once again what you believe to be called hair. Okay, unlike mortals, gods don't have fur. Okay, so if you have like closer to straighter hair, that's fur. Okay, that wouldn't be considered hair, not scientifically, not genetically, not biologically at all. Your ether would be more so 6 ether or 5-4 ether, but it wouldn't be over but it wouldn't be any deeper than the 6 ether. Whereas once again, if you're mixed, you might have something between 7 and 8, and that's if you're like a yellow bone, or if you're a little bit more on the darker, you're a little bit more deeper connected with your ancestral roots, you'd probably be more of an 8 ether being. Okay, but the closer that you get to a mortal, the less divinity that you have within you from source. Basically, your connection with source is completely different as that of someone with a pure blood connection with the Almighty God, because they don't have the synthetic or artificial concepts or aspects or phenomenons or apparitions within them. Okay, whereas what makes a demigod different from a god is that they have the artificial and synthetic aspects, but they also have the original and the organic. So depending on how deeply connected they are with their ancestors, with their spirits, with their souls, if they have one, that's what determines whether their connection with source is even existent. Without that, you're not even recognized as anything of an existing natural original authentic being. Like, you don't exist in the spirit, but you exist in what you believe to be called the physical realm alone. And that's what makes mortals. They're not from the spiritual, they're just in the physical, what you believe to be called physical, once again, which is just truly called the crystalline realm. Okay, anything that is, there's no such thing as solid, it's just something that's at a lower density. Okay, so anyways, the gods, they come in a darker tone, not a color, not a complexion, but a tone, because they're a reflection of different minerals and properties. They're made up of it. Okay, minerals, chemicals, natural elements within the planet, or of the planet, that was created with the planet in mind, so that way that when they inhabit the planet and incarnate the planet, they can coexist, whereas mortals don't have that. And by mortals, as in demigods and demi-goddesses, they may not also have enough of that organic, original darkness, non-ether genetics, or DEA, dioxide etheric acid, within them, in order for them to actually exist within within what you believe to be called the physical realm, without being an inconvenience, like basically not cohabitating with nature, or symbiotic, or just basically not having a symbiotic relationship, because nature is a reflection of the spiritual realm, or the spirits, actually, because they are the incarnation of the ancestors beyond the animated flesh. Okay, beyond the animated flesh and blood that you call your temple, okay, that you refer to as your temple. Okay, so the temple of the gods is different from the temple of the mortals because it's a reflection. It's not only a reflection of nature, but it is created by all things that are within nature organically, originally, and authentically, which is why they have a coily ether, because it's meant to be able to sustain the 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 basically the power, the wisdom, and the existence of a god and a goddess, a soul and a mind, that, and as well as more than what some are willing to imagine. And if there was even such a thing as counting the amount of spirits that exist within that soul. So the core is so potent, so present, and so powerful and mighty that it has to have a very what mortals call a strong vessel. Okay, it has to have a very deeply intuned temple in order to be able to harbor a soul, and that's why they come in darker tones. Now, there are different forms of dark tone, or nine ether beings. There are different forms of tones for nine ether beings to inhabit, and the reason why minerals was referred to in the previous in this episode is because they may have more of a copper tone or a brass tone or an olive tone, or kind of like a silver-ish brown tone, like a golden tone, or just different. Oh, and even when it comes down to crystals, they may even have a malachite tone or something like that, because they may have a greenish tone. They maybe have a darker blue tone, which is like lapis lazuli, stuff like that. So there are different kinds of tones, and that reflect that of nature, but also reflect that of the creation of the gods. And the gods reflect their creation by representing themselves as a reflection of that creation, because they are the ones that created the planet that mortals inhabit, yet claim to come from, when they did not come from the planet. They came from the creation of the gods as a clone of the gods, but not the gods, which is why they may have similar temples in appearance, but it will never be the same, because they don't have curly or coily ether, which is an indication of a godly essence being. Not all gods have the same kind of coils or curls, but their ether is not akin to that of inorganic or artificial animals that you see like in nature, like pandas, and as well as the Antarctic bear. That one is another one that's artificial. So they don't have any form of genetics that are related to that, which is what mortals refer to as animals. Okay, they coexist with animals, natural animals within the jungle, but natural animals don't respond to mortals with any form of kindness, unless that they have a spirit that is not harmful to the environment. Mortals to the environment oftentimes are viewed as hostile, and as well as like parasites, because they don't exist with the same kind of spirits within them that the animals do. And the animals know that, and the trees know that, the environment knows that, and they don't welcome them in, because they know that their nature is destructive and not creative, which is a reflection of the nature of the gods, and not some form of invader or intruder. So that's why in nature, gods and goddesses, who now those who are delusional, they refer to them as blacks. Those who are not know they're gods and goddesses. Okay, when they enter nature, they don't have any issues. Whereas the opposite, it's not the case.